Okay, so for this problem, we have to graph the solution set to a system of linear inequalities. 3x plus 6y is less than or equal to 6, and 2x plus y is also less than or equal to 6. So here's how I like to do these. Start with your first equation, inequality. 3x plus 6y is less than or equal to 6. And I'm going to graph this all the way from beginning to end before I go on to the red one. So the first thing I do is take 3x plus 6y and set it equal to 6. This is called graphing the boundary line. So to graph the boundary line, in this case, since we have the x's and y's next to each other on one side, it's easiest to start by setting x and y equal to 0 one at a time and making a graph using x and y intercepts. Okay, so when we set x equal to 0, we get 3 times 0 plus 6y equals 6. However, the 3 times 0 goes away to 0. That leaves us just with 6y equals 6 or y equals 1. And when we take the next one and set y equals 0, we have 3x plus 6y equals 6. But y is equal to 0, so this will go away. 3x equals 6, so x is equal to 2. And we'll fill that in there. Okay, so let's plot those 2 points. I have x equals 0 and y equals 1. X equals 0, let's put y equals 1 up here. I'll plot that dot. And x equals 2 and y equals 0, let's go 1, 2, and y equals 0. We'll plot that dot. Okay, now I'm going to do a couple of things here to give myself some room. I'm going to erase this work right here, but keep my x and y intercepts, and move on to step 2. This erasing is taking its sweet time. Okay, but I'll leave the x and y intercepts. Okay, so for step 2, the next thing we have to do is figure out, before we connect those dots, for step number 2, we need to figure out whether we have a solid line or a dashed line. The way we figure that out is we take a look at the inequality in our problem. Since this inequality has an equals to underneath it, we have a solid line. If the inequality did not have an equals to underneath it, it would have a dashed line. So let me get out my line and draw it here through those 2 points. There we go. Okay. I wonder if I can change the color. Nope. All right, we'll do that later. Okay, the third thing, and one of the most important things, is we want to figure out where our shading is going to be. So to figure out where we're going to shade, we usually pick any ordered pair. That ordered pair just cannot be directly on our line, and plug it in, see if we get something that is true or false. So I love the ordered pair 0, 0. It's really easy to plug in, and 0, 0 is happily off of our line. So let's pick 0, 0. When we do that, we plug it into the inequality, so we'll get 3 times 0 plus 6 times 0 is less than or equal to 6. These both go to 0, so that gives us the inequality 0 is less than or equal to 6. And this statement right here is true. That means 0, 0, which is below our line, is a true statement. Now the nice thing about inequalities is all of the trues are collected on one side of the line, and all of the falses are collected on the other side of the line. So I know that all of the points on the same side as my true are also true. So I'm going to shade below this line. Okay. Okay, now, and only now, I'm going to go to the eraser. I'm going to erase a lot of my work here, if I can get a bigger eraser. And let's see, so let's go on and do the same thing for the other line. the other inequality that we just did here. And we'll do this over the same set of axes. So let's see. For this second one, we'll use the red line. We've got 2x plus 6y is less than or equal to 6. Also, to start off, I'm going to take that line, set it equal to 6, and graph the boundary line. And I'm almost done. Okay, so let's do this one in red. So here we go. So we've got 2x plus y is less than or equal to 6. For the first step, 2x plus y is equal to 6. Again, since x and y are next to each other, I'm going to graph this boundary line using x and y intercepts. So when x is 0 here, the 2x goes away. So we have 2 times 0 plus y. Whoops, I made a mistake, didn't I? This is not 0. That is 6. So 2x plus y equals 6 means y equals 6. Okay, and going back and doing the y-intercept, when we get y equals to 0, we have 2x plus 0 equals 6, means 2x equals 6, so x is 3. Okay, so now I'm going to plot those two lines. So I have x equals 0, those 2 points, x equals 0 and y equals 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And x equals 3 and y equals 0 is down here. Okay, let me get the line out again and change it to a red line. Okay, and let's graph that. Kind of. There we go, between those 2 points. Okay, again, this has an equals to underneath, so whoops, that's a line. I don't want a line. Go back to my pen. Since this has an equals to underneath, I know I again wanted a solid line. And also, again, since 0, 0 is wonderfully not on my line, I can pick 0, 0 to figure out the shading. So we'll pick 0, 0 here as well. So we'll plug it back into the inequality. The inequality 2x plus y is less than or equal to 6 will be 2 times 0 plus 0 is less than or equal to 6. Or 0 is less than or equal to 6. Again, that's a true statement. So since we're at 0, 0 down here, again, this is true for the red line also. I know that all the other truths are on the same side of the red line. So I'm going to shade that one. Now I get to have colored pens here. So when you guys are shading it on your papers at home, I recommend you kind of do 2 different directions for your shading so you can see where the answer is. The answer for this will be the double shaded area right in here. So your answer is going to be the double shaded area here. This area right in here.